Hello and welcome back to live coverage of the Apex Gaming Last Chance Qualifier. We are in round number 5 of 5, and we are about to give away a few slots to tomorrow's $20,000 Invitational. That's Ross Merriam. I'm Todd Tandy Anderson, and we got two awesome players and two cool decks for you this round. Ross, why don't you give us a rundown of who we're going to see?
Well, we saw Bomat at the very end, Matt Como last round of the Mono Black Coffers deck. We're going to start with him in this round, playing against Krista Oskopinski on Eldrazi Tron. So this is a Karn the Great Creator mirror.
Sure.
Who will come out on top in the Karn mirror? I honestly have...
Also, both generating massive amounts of mana
Yes.
as well.
So I think it is going to come down to who can get their mana engine online first and start doing really powerful things. Can Krista find that the Tron lands early, or can Matt find the combination of Urborg and Cabal Coffers? So should be an interesting one. Definitely not one you see every day in Modern. And the winner will be one of our 4-1s. We got 4 tables here of 3-1s, so we're gonna have 4 players at 4-1 after this round. I do know I have the result in that Christopher Hafner and James Mangus are 2 4-0s, took an unintentional draw, so they're gonna finish intentional draw. Yeah. So they're gonna go finish first and second with 13 match points. Congratulations to them. We'll see them tomorrow for the $20,000.
What are the two decks? We have Tron and then the full color Beanstalk.
Yeah.
Cool.
And we'll see which 2 of these 4-1 players can win that tiebreaker lottery after coming away with a win in the last round and join them.
Yeah, I mean, to be frank, I really hope Will Hog XP wins and makes it because he was on the bubble in 5th place in last night's event with Rakdos Scam. He lost round 1 today and has won 3 in a row to get to what is essentially the same position he was in yesterday. And now we're going to have to hope that the tiebreakers give him a thumbs up instead of a thumbs down.
Yeah, it's pretty close with a lot of these players, and it's a small tournament, so tiebreakers can change quite a bit in the last round. So it really just is, don't focus on that right now. Take care of your match, get the last win that you need, and then from there, cross your fingers.
Alrighty, well, the players are in the feature match area and just about ready to go. So let's head on down there as we watch Krista Skopinski with Eldrazi Tron versus Bomat Como playing Mono Black Coffers. I call him Bomat because on Twitter he's Bomat Courier. One of my cohorts of the Lost Boys where we do Lorcana content, and he's been in the booth with me a couple times here at Apex whenever Ross is out of town. We're glad to see him come up and play some. And here's a turn 1 Thoughtseize.
I think on Mulligan to 4, I think Chris's hand is 3 Tron pieces and some sort of threat that is now gone.
Okay, but if they're the right Tron pieces, then this is still a fine game. But here's Expedition Map off the top. So if we have the second Tron piece, this gives us a third. If we have all 3 Tron, this gives us a utility land. And Chris has got plenty in her deck.
Yeah, there's a couple Blast Zones in her list and 1 Crawling Barrens. Those would be our utility land options. No copies of Urza's Saga, interestingly.
There was one people were playing for a while. It was like a one that made colorless or tap for colorless mana and required colorless mana to draw a card if you were empty-handed. I can't remember the name of the card off the top of my head, but that one would be excellent here because of the heavy mulligans, but unfortunately not in the deck. Como does have turn 2 Bowmaster is going to come down and deal 1 to Krista and attack for 2.
Now the Expedition Map is nice because Krista gets to just leave it in play, wait for Matt to use this Field of Ruin, and then find whichever land he hits, find a replacement copy.
Okay, and he does go for the Field of Ruin, and Krista going to go ahead and dig for a swamp. This is going to alleviate some pressure on Dismember later down the line. We also have a waste in the deck that we could have gotten off of Field of Ruin, I believe.
Yeah,
it's Beseiju the one that messes you up.
Yeah, because Beseiju says the land has to have a basic land type.
Which
is a basic land, but does not have a basic land type.
Yeah, unfortunate. So we're going to use the Expedition Map to replace the land that just got blown up, and now we're going to go back to Krista's way and see if she can find Tron and a payoff. Karn the Great Creator, that's a payoff. Now it's, can we get Tron? There's Tower. Thoughtseize for Como.
Another Thoughtseize to right in time.
Looks like we're going to cast Shielder the Apocalypse and get aggressive. Here's an attack for 2. We're going to go back Krista Skopinski's way.
And the Shielder is nice because it will also continue pressuring Krista even if she finds Ensnaring Bridge.
I believe that's Tron number 3, so now we have access to 8 mana. Krista can play Karn plus a 4-drop like the One Ring. It will still lose you some life against that Shieldred, so let's see if she wants to get something else here. Does she have anything in the sideboard that can take care of the Shieldred, or is this just a perfect counter to the One Ring?
I mean, eventually a filigree Silex will, but
So there's no Might Stone, Weak Stone, or anything like that?
no, not that I'm seeing.
Okay.
Walking Ballista, if we get up to 10 mana,
Ooh, Cityscape Leveler is the grab.
Leveler can
Krista!
do it.
Big dice! Big dice, Krista. Please. I'm gonna go throw her dice in the trash can.
There's also a Karn Silex.
All right, she got it. She got
So
it.
a lot of slow pieces of interaction for Krista.
All right, Karn does go get Cityscape Leveler. Gonna go back Matt's way. We draw a card and gain some life, and now we can smush for 6. Oh, another Thoughtseize here is gonna take the Cityscape Leveler from Krista O, unless there's something a little more threatening. I see. Is that All's Dust? Was that All's Dust that was just not cast? That can't be right, right? Is that a land?
Yeah, not sure what that top card is. The Leveler is the take.
We can't escape that from the graveyard to, or excuse me, bring back from the graveyard for 1 turn with
Yeah,
Unearth.
Unearth. Looks like Shieldred attacks down the Karn, and then the Bowmaster and the Orc Army come across.
And now, 1 ring protection, we're going to draw a card.
Yeah, these Field of Ruins and Demolition Fields in the mono black deck gotta give the edge to Matt in the matchup because he has ways to disrupt the mana engine of Krista where she does not.
All right, we do find another Urza's Tower, so even though we had a mulligan to 4 and one of our lands blown up, this is turn number 5, and we have access to 3, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 mana. See if Krista has anything to do outside of the Cityscape Leveler. All right, looks like we're going to go ahead and unearth that. And I believe it does exile, so if she wants, she can take care of the 1 ring, but I think that Shielder is just a little too scary.
It destroys.
Oh, it does destroy. Okay, cool. All right. This is an attack trigger. Shieldred down. You get a Power Stone. There you go.
And
Just
because
for
of the
you.
One Ring, there's no damage that's going to come across.
Mm-hmm.
So.
And then it gets exiled.
Yeah, just an 8 mana Vindicate.
Well, an 8 mana Vindicate that traded for a Thoughtseize as well.
Yeah, true.
Matt going to gain some more life. Can also draw some cards with the 1 ring. Really cruising now.
Found himself a Karn. He doesn't really have a ton of mana to leverage it. Ooh, I think that's a Demolition Field.
Oh, yeah. Another land destruction incoming. And we're going to use the Power Stone token to fuel it. We're going to blow up one of your Tron pieces that's not redundant. We're going to go get a Swamp. Krista can go get a Waste or another Swamp here.
But at this point, doesn't have much going on, doesn't have a ton of mana. Matt has the 1 ring active, has the Bowmaster coming across the red zone. Now is going to continue to press his advantage with a Karn. Yeah.
Okay, that's going to lock a bunch of cards from Krista that could help get her back in the game, like 1 ring of her own. Now that she has been strangled on mana a bit, she does have access to 5, but it's far away from what she had just a moment ago.
5's not going to do it.
Okay, here's an attack for 2. Karn down to 3. Gonna go back Krista's way. Let's see if she can cobble something together.
Yeah. Bomat finds his own Cityscape Leveler, just trying to get this game over with. And is not that far away from casting it. Has 6 mana and the Power Stone, so a land next turn gives him access to 8 for the artifact.
Krista packs it in. A tough game for her, but it could have gone either way. That Thoughtseize from Matt on a pivotal turn taking the Cityscape Leveler meant that he only had to deal with it 1 time instead of 2 times.
Yeah, a lot of well-timed discard spells and well-timed land destruction there. The disruption was really critical for Matt, and he has a lot more disruption than Krista does.
All right, well, as these players are taking a look at their sideboard for game number 2, it's interesting because both these players are playing Karn the Great Creator decks. Can we zoom out, Director? To the... Oh, you're good. So Krista O is going to be on your left there and playing E-Tron. Ross, why don't you give me your expert analysis on her sideboard and what you think she's going to be bringing in here for this matchup?
So I see a Sundering Titan, a Cityscape Leveler, a Wormcoil Engine, a Walking Ballista, The One Ring, a Karn Silex, an Ensnaring Bridge, a Sorcerer's Spyglass, a Liquid Metal Coating, 2 copies of the Stone Brain, 1 the Filigree Silex, 2 Stone of Eric, and 1 Chalice of the Void. Now, normally you don't do a lot of sideboarding with Karn the Great Creator, but I do see these 3 copies of Chalice of the Void in the deck that seem pretty poor. I would want to get those out. I think
Just
you
for
could bring
playable
in,
cards.
yeah, I think you could bring in a Stone Brain. You know,
Sure.
sometimes just hitting their Karns, hitting, maybe hitting pieces of their mana engine can be relevant. I could see bringing in the Wormcoil engine, as just a reasonable threat. Maybe you bring in one of these Silexes to give yourself more interaction. I'm trying to think of like what Sorcerer Spyglass could hit. Like stops Troll from cycling. That's not good. You don't really
It's
want to name
non-land, right?
Karn. Yes, I believe so.
I don't know that it is, but if it is, that's a bummer. Because you could name Demo Field or whatever.
Oh no, it is any card. Yeah, so Sorcerer Spyglass could also come in to shut down some of those powerful Field of Ruin and Demolition Field, the land destruction lands.
All right. On the other side of things, Bomat has presented his 60 again. So there are no sideboard changes from his side of things. But what are some things that you might have changed if you were in his
Yeah,
seat, Ross?
Well, he's got 4 copies of Leyline of the Void and then 11 Karn targets,
Yeah.
and the Leylines are bad in this matchup.
Does he have anything in the main deck that you would want to get out specifically?
I mean, like the Damnation and Fatal Pushes aren't great, but they'll still do something. Sometimes you can even, animate your opponent's artifact with Karn and then kill it with a removal spell.
True.
Say to deal with like an Ensnaring Bridge. So yeah, there's nothing in the sideboard I desperately want to bring in, and the removal is fine enough.
All right, both players here taking a quick mulligan. While they do that, I'm going to take this time to say thank you to our sponsors. Ultimate Guard is the industry leader in TCG supplies, from the Katana sleeves to the Archive deck box. They are offer great products that you can find at your local game store. Thank you so much to Moxfield, a deck builder that you can use to save all your decks and share them with your friends. They're working on an experimental new feature for images that should be up and running here pretty soon. It already works decently well, but they're updating it every single day. I've been using Moxfield for a couple days now on my personal stream, and it's been quite nice. Thank you so much to Wings Etc. Grill and Pub for keeping us fed and happy on these super long tournament weekends. And last but not least, TCGplayer.com, our flagship sponsor for the Apex Invitational Series. They have contributed quite a bit to our event this weekend, and we're very appreciative of them. Check out TCGplayer.com for all of your singles needs, from Yu-Gi-Oh!, Pokemon, Disney's Lorcana, and Magic the Gathering. TCGplayer.com's got you covered. Also, make sure to check out their sister site, TCG Player Infinite, where they post all of their written strategy articles. If you're a player or a collector or even a store, check out TCGplayer.com, and maybe you can sell your cards today or pick up what you're missing.
Okay, both players going to 5 cards here. I would say advantage Krista, because the Tron mana engine is a lot easier to get online on short resources.
Completely agree.
But as we do know, Matt has those 7 Field of Ruin effects in the deck to
Is he
Tron.
heavy on field or is he heavy on demo?
Field of Ruin 4, Demolition 3.
I guess they're both field. Is it demo field and Field of Ruin?
Yep.
Yeah. All right. Both players taking a look at their 5. Seems like they're not quickly mulliganing again, so they're going to keep. Krista puts 2 on bottom. Bomat puts 2 on bottom. Krista's going to be on the plate for game number 2. Let's get a notch on Matt Como up a game. He did win game number 1. Now Krista's going to be on the play, and we'll see if she can break serve. Or not break serve. That's not what that means.
Force a game 3.
There we go. You hear like little turns of phrase throughout your whole life, and you think they mean a thing, and then Ross Merriam teaches you a little bit about tennis, and then you realize the thing you've been saying your whole life is wrong and dumb.
Yeah, I do that a lot.
You do that a lot? Nice. All right, ours is mine into Power Plant. See if Matt has a Thoughtseize or anything here on turn number 2 to defend. Doesn't seem like he's in a good shape. His body language has changed quite a bit, slowed down. Here's Sorcerer Spyglass from Krista O on turn number 2. Let's see what she names. Matt's going to cycle Troll of Khazad-dût in response.
So that did indeed come in from the sideboard.
Ah, good call. I'm sure the chalices are in the sideboard where they belong. All right, Krista, what you gonna take? All right, so I know that there's like some Mystic Sanctuary, obviously not legal in Modern because of the fetch lands, but all of the other ones, as far as I can remember, are legal. And I
Yes.
know that Green has Gingerbread Cabin because I've seen Aspiring Spike do awesome stuff with it. Red has the one that makes dwarves, Dwarven Mine. What's the black one?
Witch's
Witch's
Cottage.
Cottage. Do you think he's got a Witch's Cottage in the deck?
He does not.
Put Shieldred back on top? That'd be kind of cool. It does enter the battlefield tap most of the time, though, which is a bummer.
Okay. Krista sees the Field of Ruin in hand, names that one.
Yeah, if she names Karn the Great Creator, it is a dual-sided effect, so it would lock her own down, and perhaps she has plans for being on the play with her own Karn the Great Creator, so it just takes the land that could blow up hers.
Important plans.
All right, Matt draws. It looks like a Bowmaster. We'll see if that's what he wants to put down.
Always nice to have a little bit of pressure in these Karn mirrors so that you can attack your opponent's Karn or defend your own Karn.
Right.
That second activation of Karn the Great Creator is usually quite backbreaking. Big dice!
Big dice, Krista. No turn 3 play here for Krista. I believe that's a Blast Zone because it comes in with a counter. And here is the Bowmaster. We're going to deal 1, make a token. Remember, both these players did mulligan to 5, so if their draws aren't stellar, that's why. Both of these come in attacking. Krista takes 2, down to 17. We'll see if Matt has a follow-up. We know Field of Ruin is locked down from the Sorcerer Spyglass, but might have another play here lined up. It's a demo field. Holy, nice pickup, Batman. And Krista going to float a mana.
Gonna stop one of them, I'll draw the other one.
So she's floating a mana, and what she's going to do is use that floating mana plus the one she goes and gets. And she's going to chunk the Blast Zone up to 3. And that's going to allow her to pop it later on. Finds a swamp.
Can just trade the Blast Zone for the Orcish Bowmaster if she so chooses.
Yeah, not the best trade in the world because it does leave the Orc army around, but beggars can be choosers.
Yeah, especially if you're trying to set up one ring.
All right, draws for turn. Pretty far away from Tron. Let's see if she has a backup of the land that got blown up. I don't see it, but here's Waste and Thought Not Seer. Bowmat here, I believe, had a Fatal Push in hand, or no? No, it was a Cling to Dust. Okay. So we have Karn the Great Creator, which is going to get stripped, and then we have Cling to Dust and 2 lands versus Krista's 2 cards in hand. I like Krista's spot here.
Yeah, the Thought Not Seer is excellent. Matt's going to see a couple of cards here. Yeah, gets to fire off the Cling on the end step. Is that another Bowmaster?
Maybe.
And a Shieldred. Shieldred is a good one.
I don't know. Can you explain? What does Shieldred do?
Everything.
Let's get Shieldred on the screen. This is an iconic 4-drop from Phyrexia All Will Be One, the set released earlier this year. 4 cost 4/5 Death Touch. When you draw a card, you gain 2 life. When your opponent draws a card, they lose 2 life. That matters for preventing your opponent from getting huge bursts of advantage from the One Ring up the Beanstalk, but also it just punishes them every single turn. When they don't deal with it, you gain 2 and they lose 2.
It's really good.
That's a cool. I actually never read the flavor text on it. Gix failed. I shall not.
This card is everything Siege Rhino wishes it could be.
Many of you probably don't even know who Gix is. Idiots. Just kidding. The Gix is like an old character in Magic. It was during the Dominaria, the original Dominaria days from. I remember Ring of Gix was the first thing I saw with Gix on it. Here's a 1 ring from Krista. And an Expedition map. And the ring is pretty good here because it gives protection.
Yeah, but the other part of it not so good because every card you draw leads to you taking 3 damage.
Yeah. That's why Shieldred's in the deck, though. Well, that and a million other reasons, but primary reason Bowmaster and Shieldred are there or to prevent extra draws.
Yeah, this game looked good for Krista for about 1 turn, and then Shieldred came off the top, and it's been all downhill from there.
All right, we're going to draw for turn. Is Krista going to go down to 13? Has Blast Zone that can be used to kill the Bowmaster, but the 1 ring here is rather stunted in the face of the draw punishes. There's an Urborg on the other side of the table too, so Dismember can be paid for 3 if she wants. She can also start ticking the Blast Zone up to 4 to blow it, but that'll kill her own Thought-Knot Seer as well.
Yeah, the 2 will also kill her Sorceress Spyglass, so not a great Blast Zone regardless of how she chooses to use it.
Alright, 1 card in hand. See if she gets frisky with the ring. Gonna turn it sideways and draw a card. We're gonna take 1 from the Bowmaster. We're gonna take 2 from the Shieldred. And we're gonna grow our Bowmaster. That is a trigger you can miss though,
Yeah,
so Matt did miss it.
I think Matt missed the Bowmaster, but remember the Shieldred.
Alright, we're gonna pop that Expedition map. I'm gonna go get a land. I believe we have 2 Tron pieces in play, but I'm unsure. That far left land on Krista's side, I don't know what it is, and I think I've not known what it is for the whole game.
Could be an Eldrazi Temple.
That's probably what it is, because I did see Triangle Head on it. That makes perfect sense. Another map.
So that will set up Tron for next turn.
Yeah, needs to draw a card in the Great Crater or some other payoff. I'm going to go back Komo's way. Draw, gain 2. You know, I'm going to razz Matt so hard for that Bowmaster trigger miss.
As you should.
Attack for 4. Krista. Maybe? I just got to take it. Here's Cabal Coffers, but nothing to do with it. Matt's got a ton of mana at his disposal. Here comes another Expedition map pop. We know there's a Field of Ruin on Matt's side, but it's currently locked down.
Yeah. So the Shielded attack dropped Krista to 7. We haven't updated life totals yet. She's going to go to 6 on her upkeep from the 1 ring trigger, then draw a card for turn, take 2 from the Shielded down to 4.
Yeah, that means that she can't even activate the 1 ring without dealing with the Shieldred first.
Yep.
All right. Down to 4.
Somehow we've ended with Krista at 8. Maybe our life total was wrong before.
No, I can see her pad. It says 4.
Yeah. No, don't want to do that.
All right, plays there's his tower.
What do you got?
Are we able to manually update life totals?
Ulamog.
That's a pretty good one. Oh, is this the one that's... Oh, can we get this one on screen? This is actually the Ulamog cereal. That's pretty sweet. So this is going to come down. It's going to zap Bowmaster and the Shieldred, and that's going to alleviate a lot of pressure on her, and she's going to be able to activate the 1 ring. Ulamog, the Ceaseless Hunger, devoid of flavor. This is 10 cost, 11/11, has a million abilities. Sorry, 10 cost, 10/10, excuse me. Comes into play, or when you cast it, excuse me, destroy or exile 2 permanents.
Okay. Now, can the Ulamog race our own ring?
It's a good question. I'm not even sure we should have drawn cards with the ring. The Ulamog is just threatening lethal in a couple of attacks. Alright, we're going to take 2 from the ring. I can't quite see what her life pad says. I think she's down to 2. I think drawing a card was a pretty big mistake.
Yeah, we could have waited, drawn 2 cards this turn, and then 3 the next turn.
You know, maybe she's got another ring already rolled up. If that's the case, then this is a pretty easy sequence, and she gets to play a ring, reset the ring, and then attack for a huge chunk.
Even going to 2 is awkward against a top deck Shieldred.
Sure.
So you need to have a Dismember, which you can cast for no life payment because Matt has an Urborg, so...
Well, Krista doesn't find it and is going to pack it in a handful of Matter Shapers and lands, and Bomat moves to 4-1. His dreams of playing in the Invitational tomorrow are still alive, but he does have to sweat the tiebreakers.